I went from spending 70 hours a week playing video games to becoming a software engineer with healthy habits, a good relationship, and a life I actually enjoy. And it all started with coding, so let me tell you my story. I used to play video games for over 10 hours per day for many years. I remember being in the studio apartment I was renting by myself, spending every day just gaming away, letting entire weeks disappear into a screen. I'd leave the house in the morning for a university lecture, maybe go for a walk, and then I'd go straight back home, close the door and play games until I went to bed. I blasted through The Last of Us 1 and 2 in just a few days, which is about 45 hours of gameplay. Same with the God of War games and a bunch of Nintendo Switch titles like Zelda. I was never really into multiplayer games, but single player adventure games really pulled me in. It felt awful. I was highly anxious and depressed at the same time, and every task in life just felt like a massive chore. On some days, just leaving the house felt too daunting, and my social skills were diminishing too. This was not a good time in my life. Gaming had consumed everything. There was no time for exercising, socializing, and doing normal activities that a healthy human should be doing. This was not the way to live. I knew something had to change. I couldn't keep living like this. Now thankfully, this was around the time I was taking a Python programming course in university, which I thought was really interesting. My routine back then was simple: go to the morning lecture, learn a bit of Python, then go home and play The Last of Us for the rest of the day. But after a while I got quite decent at Python, and so I thought after one of those lectures that instead of playing video games, today I shall code something. And so instead of sitting down at my PlayStation, I made coffee and went to the computer and made a text adventure game. You may have heard of these. It's one of the simplest forms of video games and a perfect beginner task. That moment changed everything, because suddenly instead of just playing video games, I could actually make one. I had just made one. I felt powerful and realized that with the power of coding, I can create anything. I didn't quit gaming overnight. Far from it, but I had made progress. A small part of my day was now spent on coding, and that was a big improvement. I discovered that coding was quite a nice replacement for video games, because it ticks the same boxes. Coding, just like gaming, involves time by myself at the computer, problem solving and tinkering. But instead of just wasting away, I was developing a skill that has proven to be incredibly useful in my life journey. And so I naturally started enjoying video games less and coding more. I got a software engineer job shortly thereafter, and I launched this YouTube channel and my own website, which slowly pulled me further and further away from gaming. These days I don't spend 70 hours a week playing video games anymore. Instead I spend 40 hours working, 10 hours making videos, and the rest training, learning and socializing like a normal human being. These days I hardly play any video games because my brain just enjoys other tasks more. And it all started with a good university lecture and the realization that I can make my own stuff, which is way more enjoyable than just consuming things all the time. The lesson I learned is that coding gives similar dopamine to gaming, but unlike gaming, coding produces a real outcome and personal development. We don't need to quit gaming entirely, we just need a competing activity that is slightly more rewarding. My way out of video game addiction was Python, and if you want to learn Python in a nice, fast way in the same format as this video, then have a look at my Python course, which I've linked in the description. And please click like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I truly wish you the best in your journey.